So I need to make a confession. For someone who teaches manifestation, I was secretly frustrated that my own financial reality wasn't matching what I knew was possible. I was doing everything right, meditating, mentally rehearsing abundance, practicing gratitude, yet money still felt like a struggle. I felt like the personal trainer with a dad bod, and I was the manifestation coach who couldn't manifest consistent cash flow. It's pretty fucking ironic, right? Now, look, I'm not here to sell you some magical money manifestation formula. There are enough gurus out there promising money falling from the sky just by you repeating, I'm wealthy. Okay? That's not going to be me. But I am going to offer something genuinely bizarre because this is what happened to me. And I discovered what was actually happening at a neurological level thanks to Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. I realized I was vibrating at a frequency of working hard for money, struggling to make money, instead of effortless abundance. And the moment I changed this one thing about my approach, everything shifted. Everything shifted. Because within 21 days, I manifested $30,000 in my life through a completely unexpected opportunity. So today I want to pull back the curtain on exactly what changed. And fair warning, it's probably going to piss you off. Because it's so counterintuitive to everything we've been taught about success and manifestation overall. But before we get into it, please check out my free and life-changing services and products in the description below. I have a lot of resources there. I have an abundance activation that my private clients use to instantly align to the frequency of abundance so you can magnetize money and opportunities specifically to you. There is also a one-on-one breakthrough session with myself, because if you have been struggling to manifest what you want, whether it's love, health, business success, abundance, a job opportunity, whatever it is, we will eliminate the interference and blocks in one single session. There's also a free quantum leap into your future meditation and a free alignment session with me if you want to master the art of reality creation. So please check them out in the description below. Now, it was back in 2023. I always woke up at 5 a.m. straight, meditate for an hour, journal my gratitude, mentally rehearse my dream life, and set my intentions. Then I would make my green smoothie, and then I would hustle my ass all day long. Sometimes for 12 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours at minimum, always. I was basically the poster child for manifestation best practices. My vision boards looked like it was designed by a professional Pinterest maker. My affirmations were so positive that it would make a therapist look depressed. But every time I would lay my head at night, I would check my bank account and nothing was changing, or was slowly changing. I'd lay in bed wondering, what the heck am I doing wrong? Was I not believing hard enough? What is it? And the worst part, I was teaching this stuff to other people. And I had clients, don't get me wrong, I had clients getting amazing results while I was secretly wondering like I was some kind of manifestation fraud. Am I a fraud? And that was tough. Have you ever felt that way? Like you're doing everything right, but the universe is still giving you the middle finger. Like you're the only one not invited to the abundance party. But one night, I was rereading one of Dr. Joe's works, and he was talking about the neurological basis of manifestation. And he wrote something about emotional signatures. And that slapped me right in the face. Emotional signatures. He explains that your brain doesn't respond to what you consciously want. It responds to the emotional state you consistently inhabit. And your nervous system is basically keeping record. It's a record-keeping system that's constantly asking, what emotional state does this person live in mostly? Okay, your baseline emotion, your standard emotional state. And that's when it hit me. Despite all my manifestation practices, my dominant emotional signature was still working hard for money, struggling to make my business successful. I was vibrating in the frequency of effort, struggling and efforting, not abundance. I was basically telling the universe, hey, I want easy money while simultaneously broadcasting, but I expect to work my ass off for every dollar. Man, no wonder nothing was happening. My subconscious was getting mixed signals that made about much sense as a vegan at a steakhouse. But think about it. Ask yourself, what is your emotional signature around money? And be honest. When you think about increasing your income or getting that promotion or investing, does it feel like A, something that flows to you naturally and easily, or B, something you have to strategize, hustle, grind, and struggle for? If you answered B, congratulations. You have found the reason your manifestation efforts aren't working. Because you are trying to manifest abundance while vibrating at the frequency of struggle, like I was. So, I decided to try something new, something radical. For 21 days, I was going to completely abandon the concept of working hard for money, working so hard on my business. I was going to experiment with embracing total effortlessness, that all of my problems in my business were already solved. Now, I'm not talking about quitting my business and sitting on the couch watching Netflix all day long. Nope. I'm talking about a fundamental shift in my nervous system, reprogramming my default emotional state around money. Now, let me tell you, this was fucking uncomfortable. My brain kept screaming, dude, what are you doing? You need to hustle. You need to do more. You need to send more emails. You need to make more content. Work harder. And I felt like I was standing in the edge of a cliff. And there was this void where my constant effort used to be. And my nervous system was freaking out. It was freaking out. But I realized this is what Dr. Joe taught. And this is what he taught me. That void, that uncomfortable space, that is where the magic happens. That's where your nervous system has the opportunity to establish new patterns. So, I committed to sitting in that discomfort. I had to. I had no other choice. If I wanted to reprogram that subconscious program, I had to. Every time my brain would start spinning, you should be doing more, I would bring myself back to the feeling of, first it was neutrality, and then it would be effortless abundance. I would literally ask myself, okay, I'm in a neutral state. I didn't believe that thought. Now, what would it be like if money just showed up in my life easily? What would my body feel if if abundance was my natural default state? How would I breathe? How would I stand? How would I interact with my clients? How would I make content if I knew money was easy to receive? And I would embody that state physically, relaxing my shoulders, deepening my breath, right? In a calm, relaxed state, softening my jaws, allowing myself to slightly smile. And about a week into this experiment, something weird started happening to my body. I began experiencing these spontaneous waves of, I can only describe as electricity or tingles running through my system. Sometimes in my head, but mostly around my spine. And it would happen randomly throughout the day. In the shower, driving, just sitting at my desk. And this surge of energy would wash over me. And I would feel this expansive sensation in my chest, especially in my chest. The first time it happened, I legit thought I was having some kind of medical episode. And I've heard about testimonies where people get freaked out with this and they go to the doctor. And so I knew better to go to the doctor. I was like, is this a heart attack? Should I be concerned that my left arm feels like it's plugged into a electrical socket? But then I remembered something else Joe talks about. How when your vibrational frequency is actually shifting, your body physically responds. Your nervous system is literally rewiring itself. And so these sensations were the evidence that something was changing on a fundamental level. My body was adjusting to a new baseline emotional state where abundance felt natural rather than something I had to chase, struggle, or it was far away. And here's the wild part. I started noticing synchronicities everywhere. I wouldn't be looking for them. It would just be like, whoa. People from my past started reaching out randomly. Like people I haven't spoken to in years. Opportunities appearing out of nowhere. Small and big opportunities for money to be made easily. Some of them were crypto signals. I had old clients referring business to me. And there was easy collaborations where I didn't even need to do much. I just needed to show up and do what I needed to do. And it was like the universe was suddenly playing connected dots with my life. Now, have you ever noticed how when you are in a certain state of emotion, life seems to mirror that back to you? Like when you're stressed out, completely stressed out, everything becomes or seems more stressful. But when you're in love, you know what I mean? When you have a new boo and you're in love, the whole world seems to be more beautiful. Now that's not coincidence. That is your nervous system creating your reality. Then on day 18, something happened that I still can't fully explain logically. I received a text message from someone I hadn't spoken to in over 2 years. And they said, hey, I know this is random, but I've been watching your content and I think you'd be perfect for this project I'm working on. We have a $30,000 budget and we need someone with your exact expertise and skills. Are you available to chat? And my first reaction was, is this a scam? Because it didn't have the person's name, it just had their number. But it was a legitimate opportunity. And that aligned perfectly with my skills and interest. And I felt the same way when I got out of 6 figures worth of debt. I had a junk mail email. And I thought, this is not real. But the timing was, well, you can call it coincidence if you want, but I call it confirmation. And here's the thing that blew my mind. I didn't have to chase this opportunity. I didn't have to send cold emails or network. I didn't have to convince anyone of my value. It literally just showed up in my text message while I was making a sandwich. The old me would have been hustling for months to find an opportunity like this. And the new me, was just in the right vibrational state for this opportunity to come to me. That's when I realized all of the manifestation techniques that I had been teaching, I've been practicing, they weren't wrong. They just couldn't work completely because my nervous system was still programmed for struggle rather than ease. And so what's the one thing I changed? Well, I shifted my nervous systems, the default setting of my nervous system from working hard for money, struggling for my business to work out, to opportunities are easy to come by, to make money, and opportunities to make money are easy to flow to me. That's what I reprogrammed my nervous system to. And now I maintain this state with a simple daily practice that takes in less than 30 minutes. All I do is I sit quietly every morning. I ask myself, if I were already financially abundant beyond my wildest dreams, how would that feel in my body right now? Even before I do Joe's meditations, I would just sit with this. Or sometimes this is my pre-meditation intention. It would be exactly that. To embody being financially abundant beyond my wildest dreams. Then I simply sit in that feeling. I don't visualize any specific opportunities. I don't recite affirmations. I'm just sitting, being present, embodying the emotional signature of someone who experiences effortless abundance. Now here's the most important part. Throughout the day, whenever I notice myself slipping back to the hustle mindset, I pause, center myself, get back to neutrality, reset my nervous system, and I literally ask myself, am I vibrating at the frequency of struggle or the frequency of ease right now? It's that simple and it's that profound. Look, I'm not saying that you should quit taking action in your life or your business. I'm still showing up every single day, don't get me wrong. Still creating content, serving my clients, improving how I serve my clients, and I'm building my business. The big difference is that I'm doing it from a completely different energetic state. I am no longer pushing the river. I'm not going upstream on the river. I'm going downstream and I'm flowing with it. And Dr. Joe was right. Your emotional state is the frequency you are broadcasting to the universe. And the universe can only return to you experiences that match that frequency, that emotional state. And if you want to learn more about how to shift your nervous system from struggle, working hard, because that has been programmed into us since we were a kid, from our parents, from society, and move that to ease, then book an alignment call with me to dive deeper into this neurological identity shift. And I'm here to help you release and replace all your manifestation practices, all while achieving more while doing less. Link is in the description below. Now remember, you don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. Change your nervous system's default setting, and you change everything.